Just imagine having your own palette and you had your eyes on the palette. Like I can only dream. What brand would you like to collab with or do a collection with? I really like Oden'S eyes aesthetic as well, and also their formulation. I think they kind of align with my aesthetic and I really love their products as well. Okay guys, I cannot believe I'm filming this video today. This whole experience has been such a dream come true. It's been so surreal. As you probably saw from the intro, Oden'S was one of those brands that I would have loved to collab with, and I can't believe it actually happened. We're here with a palette that I helped co-create and it's almost available for you guys to purchase. I just really need to take this in for a little bit because I cannot believe it. So yeah, I helped co-create a palette with Oden'S. We created the Red Dragon palette, and this palette is part of a bigger collection. This is the legendary Diversa collection, and two other beauty creators, Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner and also Tina from the Fancy Face, created two palettes of their own as well, with their own style, with their own aesthetic, and us three are part of this bigger legendary Diversa collection. And this is the PR box. If you do order any of our palettes, it will come in a box like this. Us three are on the box, which is so beautiful. I love their palettes and I will be doing a video on their palettes maybe sometime next week. So you guys will see that soon, and I'll also leave their reveal videos down below as well because their palettes are so pretty. The diversity in this collection is what I really love, and I think we all come from a different background and we all have a different story, which I love so much. So I'll leave their videos down below. I hope you guys will check out their palettes as well, but the box is just so beautiful. But today we are going to be talking about the Red Dragon palette. I'm just going to reveal the palette to you guys. I'll do some swatches, talk about the palette, the story behind it, and then my next video I will be showing you 3 looks with Red Dragon, and I can't believe I'm doing 3 looks 1 palette with a palette I helped make. So yeah, like guys, I don't even know where to start in today's video. Like there's just so much to talk about. I've been keeping this a secret for so long. I've worn this in some of my videos as well. I was being a little sneaky. For me, it's like really hard for me to keep a surprise. Like I just want to tell everyone as soon as I find out. So yeah, I'm really excited to talk about it with you guys today. I'm so nervous about it as well. Like it's just really crazy, guys. Okay, so where to begin? I want to start off with the backstory, like a story time, how this all came to be, because how it happened was extremely special. But before we talk about the story time, I just need to thank Oden'S first for giving me this opportunity to collab with them. Like truly, it is a dream come true. I love their products ever since I started trying them, and to think they would pick me out of the 3 people they could have picked to be one of them and to have some Asian representation, that really means so much, and I can't thank them enough. I have learned so much from this experience as well, my first ever collab. So thank you to Oden'S. Like they really put in the work into this collection. Like doing 3 collab palettes for 1 collection, that is a lot of work, guys. So this definitely was a collab, but they did a lot of the work behind the scenes. Like truly a big thank you to Oden'S. I truly appreciate it, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity you guys have given me. So yes, let's go back to the beginning. It goes all the way back to, I think it was like end of February, early March of this year. You know what's so crazy? You know the clip I put in the intro? It was from a Q&A video that I did, and one of the questions that I got asked is, what is a brand that I would love to collab with? And of course I did mention some other brands as well, but one of those brands I mentioned was Oden'S, and I said I would love to collab with them. Their aesthetic fits me really well. I love their formula, and I remember that day so clearly. It was a Saturday. I filmed it in the morning, and then that night we went to like a church meeting, and that's something I've never been to before, so it was a really new experience for me. It was just a really chill, fun night. We got to hear other people's testimony, and I just came home feeling like really touched by God. Feeling good, I was like, okay, let's get some work done. I opened my email and I saw an email from Oden'S asking me to collab with them for this collection, and I just had like tears of joy, and I filmed it because I wanted to remember this moment and how present God was at that time. The power of a prayer is so powerful, and like it was just so crazy because that morning I literally said I would love to collab with Oden'S, and then the night of I see an email from Oden'S to collab with me. The email was actually sent on the Friday, the day before, but I only saw it that night off. That was just a really, really special moment that I had with him. So that was how it kind of started. So we started this back in March. Now we're finally here in September with the final product, and I am so nervous to share this with you guys, but this is what the palette looks like. This is what you will receive if you do choose to purchase. So we first, of course, have to talk about the design of the palette because it is absolutely stunning. The graphic designer at Oden'S literally slayed every single design. Like all three designs look so beautiful. I sent them a mood board or something that I would like the type of artwork, and this just blew my expectation. This is me on the cover as well, guys. I have my little dragon horns, the red flame on my cheeks, and then the dragon scales on my shoulder. But we have the red dragon logo. It's also written in Chinese as well, which I love that touch. And then it says Oden'S plus Judy. It also says it on the spine. I can't believe my name is on a palette, you guys. Like, I can't believe it. So this is actually the slip for the palette, and on the slip you'll have the ingredients. And then when you just slide out the palette, here we have it, the same cover, and then on the back of the palette we have the shade names. And let's just go ahead and open it up. I am revealing to you the red dragon palette, Oden'S times Judy. I'm just gonna put this palette down because this one's like brand new. I just wanted to like hold a new one for you, but I'll just hold my old one so I can like, you know, flip it all the way back. But on the right hand side of the palette you do have a mirror, and then there's the little dragon stamp there, and then also my signature in red at the bottom, which I think is a really cute touch. And then here we have the red dragon shadows. 12 eyeshadows, 8 of them is matte and 4 of them are metallics. And if you guys watch a lot of my reviews, then this ratio will not be a surprise. You guys know I do love my matte. And this is the color story of Red Dragon, and maybe some of you guys might not expect this color story because you guys know me, I love to be monochromatic all the time, and the palette is called Red Dragon, so you guys might think it would have been a really great opportunity to do a red monochromatic look. But the reason why I went for this color story is because when Oden'S did reach out to me, they did say they wanted a fall type of palette, so I had to keep that in mind as well, and also had to keep in mind of what's already existing in Oden'S. And although I do love monochromatic palettes, I think they do have their time, and there are other red monochromatic palettes out there. And also for this collection, I wanted it to be different from any other type of like Chinese palette, like, you know, those Chinese New Year palettes or the animal zodiac palettes that brands usually launch at the beginning of the year, where it's very typical red and gold. I still wanted to embody those colors, but I wanted to make a twist on it, and I wanted to give you a variation of looks that you could create that still complement each other and still look cohesive as a palette. So I wanted to do different from those like typical like Chinese New Year palette where you can kind of tell they're only cash grabbing, you know what I mean? So this is the color story I came up with, and I'll just kind of go shade by shade and explain why I picked the color and how I would wear it and stuff like that, so you guys can get a better understanding of why I did pick these shades. That was one thing that I was really nervous about, was getting like feedback about the palettes. Like, it's not red enough, but I'm wearing it today and I do think it is pretty red, so you can definitely get a red look, but you can also get so much more from it. So yeah, with that being said, let's do some swatching. Let's talk about the shade. First shade up in the corner here is called a Sunrise, and this is a really nice mustard transitional shadow. And the reason why it's called Sunrise is because I think it's a really great base and transition color, and when you do like a gradient smoky eye, for example, you have that sunrise gradient, you know? And I think with transition shadows or the base color, it really leads the direction of where your eye look is going to go in terms of the color story story. So this is one of the transitional shadows that I put in here, so it could give you more of like a mustardy type of look. And I think in the fall time, this like mustardy yellow looks perfect as a transition. We love it. The next shade we have is called Solar Flare. This is one of the fall metallics I put in, and this is like a lime gold metallic. The base definitely has more of that golden lime, and the micro glitters in there are more gold, but it does have sort of like a duochrome flip. And I think this shadow paired with Sunrise, chef's kiss. You'll see it in a look too in my next video. And I actually wanted to call this shadow Solar Beam. I did go to Fire Pokemon Attacks for inspiration for shade names, and I wanted to name it Solar Beam, but I think Solar Beam is like exclusive to Pokemon, and if there was a chance of getting copyrighted, I didn't want that. So I went for Solar Flare, and it's an actual thing. I'll put a photo up here of what it is because I've never heard of a Solar Flare until I was looking for shade names, but I love it. I love how it's called Solar Flare, you know? And the next shade is called Claw. This is just your good old deep chocolate matte brown, and of course I just had to add this into the palette. Whenever I do palette reviews, I always say I want a transition, a medium tone, and then a deep tone. Claw fits into the deep tone because I want to be able to deepen out a look, and I feel like just having a chocolate brown, although you know it's really repetitive in a lot of palettes, I really do think it's necessary, and I want you guys to be able to just create a full look with this palette. You don't have to go into another palette, you know what I mean? So I had to add in just like a typical old matte brown. The fourth shade in the palette is called Overheat. This is also named after a Fire Pokemon attack. Overheat is a beautiful rose gold metallic. I have also mentioned in a lot of my reviews that I love rose gold, and I would love to see more rose gold metallic, so I try my best to get that in this palette. The reflex are gold, but the base has that rosy color to it, and it's a really great inner corner highlight. It's what's in my inner corners right now, and it's probably my most used metallic in this palette. And next up we have the shade Jade, which is the beautiful transitional olive green. So you could use Jade as a transition shadow, and that will really set the tone for your eye look to start off really green. And it's definitely more of like a muted green. It's not so vibrant in your face, so it's a really great way to like incorporate color without being so overpowering on the eyes. So if you're someone that doesn't play with color too often, I think you would really love Jade. And I recently found a new way to play with Jade into more of a neutral look. I'll share that with you in a future video. I didn't film it for my 3 looks in my next video, but I want to show you guys because I feel like it just looks so good. And right next to it we have Luna, which is a duochrome. It flips from purple to green. I feel like in the pan you can really see that duochrome, and from certain angles when you hold it up, Luna and Solar Flare look the same, but when you put it on the eyes they don't look the same. So maybe in some photos, if you guys think that there are 2 metallics that look the same, it's just because of lighting and where you sort of take the photo from. If you look it straight on, you can tell the difference, but if you were to look it like this, it might look the same as Solar Flare, but I assure you it is 2 different shadows and they look very different on the eyes. So Luna is like sort of burgundy purple to a lime green duochrome. It's really beautiful. It has a lot of micro glitters in there as well, and it is more of like a deeper metallic. It would be great as an eyeshadow topper for a dark smoky eye, which is what I envisioned Luna to be, and I did use that for look 1 in my next video. You guys will see it soon. And the last metallic we have is called Amber. This is a really warm, rich copper bronze, and that's what I'm actually wearing in my inner thirds today. Absolutely love it. I envisioned this to go with the reds, but this is just what I'm envisioning, and I'm just so excited to see this get into your hands and what color stories you guys will make, because there's a lot of color stories I didn't do with this palette. So I'm truly so excited to see your looks. And the next shade we have is called Yin. This is a mid-tone terracotta, reddy, rosy brown. But like I said before, when I look at a palette, I would love to see transition, midtones, and deep colors. And Yin places right at the midtone. So it's really great to just slowly and gradually build up dimension. So for like a smoky eye, I would go in with a transition, a midtone, and then a deep tone. This would be really great as a midtone. Or you could just go in with a transition and stop at the midtone. You don't have to go so deep if you want something more on the natural side, but I just love this mid-tone color, and if you had a deeper skin tone, you could use this as a transition shadow, and I think that would look beautiful on you. And Yin is actually my mom's middle name, so I wanted to include that and have a part of her in this palette. And then we have Serene, which is a really nice peachy transition shadow. Serene is definitely my go-to transition shadow in this palette out of the 3 that I placed. You guys know I love a good peachy color. This as a transition shadow, I love. It's what I used as my transition shadow today. So now onto the bottom row, we have Fire. This is a beautiful deep wine red. I just knew I had to add in a deep red, a deep wine red, and Fire is it. Like, it's such an amazing color to deepen out the outer corners. It's what I also have on my eyes as well, but it's just a really nice way to deepen out your outer corners to create a very monochromatic look. You don't even have to go monochromatic. You still could use this as eyeliner. It's a really beautiful shadow. But next up we have Aurora. This is a really deep plum purple. When I was deciding on the final shade selection, I went on Pinterest a lot. I typed in fall makeup, and I noticed that in a lot of like iconic fall makeup looks, they use a lot of like plum purple shades. So I wanted to include that in, and I just feel like having some deeper tones in a palette, you could never go wrong, because it's always great to use as eyeliner. It's always great to deepen out the outer edge. And Aurora and Claw, in the past couple of months, whenever I said, oh, I'm gonna be taking a brown eyeshadow to smudge out my wing liner, I'm gonna be taking a purple eyeshadow to smudge out my wing liner, these are the 2 colors I was using when I was filming those videos. So yeah, Aurora is just really great for a smoky eye. I envision Aurora as the base and then a Luna on top. That is look 1 in my next video. And last but not least, we have the final shade. This is called Dragon, of course. It actually has dragon in Mandarin imprinted on the shadow, which is the most perfect touch. But dragon is more of like a brighter neon red with a slight orange undertone. So it's not like a true red, but I'm also wearing this on my eyes, and actually I'm wearing it as my blush as well. So you guys will see that in the video that I keep referencing. But yeah, I'm wearing it as my blush, and I have worn it a lot of times as my blush. I feel like Serene would be a really great blush color as well. I like to give my palettes multi-use, you know? So Dragon is what's on my cheeks. It's also on my eyes as well to create this beautiful monochromatic tone. So as you can tell, it does have that red undertone to it, but it's not like a true red. But I feel like it just adds more uniqueness to Dragon. That is all of the 12 eyeshadows. I hope you guys like it. I really do hope you guys like it, like truly. And again, I will be uploading my 3 looks with this palette next. Of course, I'll be using this palette in other videos as well, but I hope my 3 looks can kind of give you a general idea of the color stories you can create and what I kind of had in mind for this palette, keeping it to the red dragon, thinking of a fall palette, and thinking of Oden'S Eye as a brand in general. So yeah, that's just everything that was in my mind while I was creating this palette. But yeah, I swatched everything, but of course I will add in the proper close-up. So some details on the launch of this palette. This is launching on the 20th of September, which is a Monday. I'm just gonna read the time so I don't get it wrong, but it's 3 p.m. PST and 6 p.m. EST. I'll leave all the info down below and leave other time zones as well. And the palette is going to retail for 27.90 euros, which converts to about 33 USD. And the conversion rates are always changing, so that's just a rough estimate. So it will be around that price range. And if you guys do choose to pick this palette up, like truly, thank you so much. Like the fact that you even clicked on this video already means so much to me. So if you were to spend your hard-earned money on this palette, like I can't even fathom the feeling. I have been affiliated with Oden'S Eye for a while now, and I do have a code with them, but the code won't work on this collection and these palettes. But if you did want to like purchase some other things off Oden'S Eye while you're ordering this palette as well, the code I believe will work on those products. I'm wearing their lipstick right now. I'm wearing their highlighter. You guys will see more of those products in my 3 looks in my next video. But also, if you do purchase a palette, if you purchase any of our palettes out of the 3 of us, you will receive a free silk scarf that has the artwork design of the palette. So if you purchase my palette, you will get this scarf. They had these with their previous collections as well, so this is a gift with purchase, which is really cute. I know it's like, you know, a little weird to like have my face on it, but if you were to just roll it up, and if you were to tie it, it's a really nice pop of color. Like, it's really bright. Like, you don't see my face anymore, you know? So it's not too invasive. And I also do want to mention that this palette is a limited edition. It is going to be around for a while, but it's not going to be around forever. So if you choose not to purchase it on launch day, that is completely fine. If you want more time to think about it, if you want to add it to your Christmas wish list, you can do so, but it is limited edition, and they did order a certain amount of units, which I personally feel like is a lot, and I really don't think it's gonna sell out. Like, I truly don't. And I'm not even saying that to, like, you know, downplay everything or be humble, but, like, you know, that number, I could never imagine that much people buying my palette. I believe if it does, if there's a chance that it does, which I don't think it will, I don't think there is going to be a chance, they did say they will restock it. So no need to like rush on getting this if you want more time to think about it. If you want to see more looks from me, from other people, and see more reviews, that's completely fine. Of course, no pressure at all. But if any of you guys do want to purchase this palette and support my collab, my first ever collab, in advance, thank you so much. I don't even know if anybody will buy it. I've been like venting to my friend. I have a lot of self-doubt, guys. But regardless, this is the Red Dragon palette, part of the legendary Diversa collection. I will leave Annette and Tina's video down below as well to check out their palettes. I'm really excited to hear their story and how they created their palettes and see their looks. I want to show you this plushie that my friend got me. She got me this plushie. It's a Red Dragon. It's so perfect. It's so cute. Whew, I feel like I need a drink. I've been filming for a very long time. But yeah, guys, this is my first ever collab with Oden'S, a brand that I would have loved to collab with. So I really can't believe it's finally here and it's happening. There's no going back. This is Red Dragon Oden'S times Judy. I hope you guys will love it. I hope you guys will like the looks. Even if you don't purchase this, I'm just thankful for your support regardless. That is it for today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching as always. I truly appreciate it. But with that being said, I love you guys so much and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Red Dragon!